Are we live? Awesome. Awesome. So hello everybody. Welcome to our transformation highlight episode 2. Today I've got someone really special and I've got to know her like 5 years ago. It's amazing that we've met 5 years ago. We only crossed paths again 5 years later. So Hazlin is going to be our special guest. So she's a lecturer, a freelance filmmaker, and an acting coach, plus a Muay Thai enthusiast and a mother of 2. So Hazlin is going to be sharing with us her journey and transformation journey throughout this pandemic. And she is such an inspiration. That's why I've invited this amazing special guest, Hazlin. Welcome.
Hi, Mayli. Hi, everyone.
So, yes, we're on Facebook Live as well. And welcome Hazlin's friends that are tuning in, and also welcome everybody that is tuning in on a Sunday evening. The reason why we selected this time is because hopefully everyone has tucked your children in bed and also preparing for next day. However, having this special inspirational session from Hazlin and we hope that we could uplift everyone's spirit and also be inspired by her journey and her transformation journey. You can't imagine how Hazlin looked like last time compared to now. Wow. So Hazlin, tell us a little bit more about your background as a mom. You are working full time as well. And how do you juggle work, children, and also home?
Okay. Thanks, Mayli. First of all, I just want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak out to everyone. This is the first time I'm actually sharing my journey with, I suppose, the public. Um, it's been tough. Trying to juggle motherhood as well as my professional aspiration. I've always been, since a very young age, a constant juggler. I'm always juggling more than one thing. Um, and I have always wondered, I'm always wondering, like, okay, what is it exactly am I good at? Where am I supposed to go? I started out earlier in my career in the media business as a stage actress. And then that journey kind of directed me into screenwriting, filmmaking, film directing, and acting coach. And somehow, um, I don't know, life works as such that, I suppose the universe know what I'm actually good at. I somehow found myself in education, and it's probably one of the best decisions that I've made. Thanks to my mom, actually. Yeah. So
Your
yeah.
mom inspired you to do acting and also to be in film?
My mom actually enforced it on me that I should consider education,
Ah,
because I was after graduating with my degree, I was adamant that I was gonna go full on in the arts and media industry. But my mom said that, why don't you give it a try? And I think that was probably one of the best things that I embarked on, because I think I found my place in education. So yeah, I love my students, by the way.
amazing.
So that, yeah, that
And
also. Mm.
and amazingly, filmmaking is more of a male dominant industry. I'm not sure about now, but back then it's a male dominant industry. And how do you start off filmmaking and decided that you want to start directing and also be in film?
Yes, it's true. It is primarily driven by men, but I think things are beginning to change now. There are more opportunities for female filmmakers, creatives, writers, producers, directors. There is a place for us for sure, and there are more opportunities now. And I see a lot of upcoming talented filmmakers, screenwriters, producers out there that are making a mark in the international scene as well. So to answer that question, the truth is it is very challenging. I suppose it all depends on your drive,
Mm.
why are you doing this? For me, I have my drive, obviously, and I obviously have something to say, but I wasn't sure what it is. I'm still in all honesty, finding that voice, to be honest, yeah, as a filmmaker. So yeah. Mm.
Amazing. So I'd like to share a little bit of these photos that we've gathered of Hazlin, right? This is amazing of her working. Yeah, I was asking for all these photos and she was like, I'm the person in the back screen. I seldom take photos of myself working. Okay, but we've done it and let's see how it goes. Oh, look at this stunning photo. I just can't get my my eyes off this photo. Can you see it? This is you. Amazing, right? Stunning! Stunning, stunning. Awesome. Okay, so this is you. Tell us more about all these images. What's happening on the left side? Left hand top
Ah,
side.
this one over
Yes,
here,
top
with me
left.
going like that, with me going like that.
Yes, correct.
That was one of my first short film, actually, prior to me doing masters in the UK. It was an experimental feminist film that I put together with a group of friends of mine, and it was a passion project. It was I think that was the first film that I put together with my best friend, and we and a group of like-minded friends as well. It was a whole army of us that was working for free. But this was a film where I think for the first time voiced my dissatisfaction for the film industry at the time. So it was a bit. I think it's very pretentious, but it was my, I think, artistic textbook that needed to come out. So yeah, that was, I think, one of my most proudest film, actually, to be honest. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was we
Wow.
filmed. Yeah, we filmed this in the middle of Bukit Bintang.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it was and we drew a lot of attention, and that was intentional because that was part of this a scene in the film also.
Which
Yeah.
year was this?
Oh God, I think, oh shoot, I think we shot this in 2012. 2012, I
2012.
think. Yeah, 2012. Yeah, I think it was then 2012. Yeah, about that.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. It's
And
uh
then
it's called it's called Vigilante.
and and the
Yeah.
the one in the middle, I like it the most, the black and white one. It's like so
Oh.
cool, right? Especially when you wear the cap and then the director look. Wow, that was so cool. Tell us more. What is this? Is this your office?
Oh no, this is my second last film. This was shot in Kedah, actually.
Mm.
This was for the film Geran. It is a silat martial art um, drama, family drama, which was not directed by me. I was the first assistant director for this film. I worked together with my best friend as well, who was the director and producer and so cinematographer of this film. Um, it was again another passion project, but only it's a big scale film. We
Mm.
shot there for in Kedah for about 40 plus days, and being the first assistant director, I have to manage the whole army of people behind and in front of the scene. And so, as you can see, this guy sitting in front of me, he's sleeping. So, it happens. People, and that guy over there on the floor, he's praying. So, this is how it is. We just make
Oh,
yeah, as filmmakers, our home is where we work. To be honest, we're a bunch of nomads. Is the truth. Yeah, yeah. It's like that's me trying to plan for the next day's shoot. This was, I think, past midnight, where everybody, I think we've wrapped already by then, but I'm still kind of like managing the schedule and planning out what's to happen the next day, which is kind of ironic because I'm not really a very good planner, but when it comes to like planning for shoot for scene, it comes quite naturally. So
I believe
so yeah.
once you're doing something of your passion and you have the drive to complete it and you have a goal in mind, you will definitely, some things will happen. Natural planning instinct will come in, yeah, towards a task that you want to complete or towards something that you want to accomplish. But you being a mom as well and also being in the film industry, how do you juggle between work, time with your kids, and also teaching, and also
um
your fitness schedule,
ah,
which we are going to share later? Yes, and your fitness schedule.
hmm.
How do you
Well,
split time?
ah I uh I do, to be honest, I do have the support of my family. I do also have the support of a personal helper, my helper. Without my helpers, I cannot do it, to be honest. And I realize that I speak from a very privileged space because not many women would have that luxury. So the only reason why I could do what I want to do is because I do have an army of helpers also, and that is the honest truth. And when it comes to finding time for fitness, I think it's been years of understanding the significance of fitness, because back then I used to neglect. There are times when I'm busy, I'm just like done, I'm not working out, because I just do not have the time for it. And then I start putting on weight. So my weight has always been fluctuating since very young. So but then I think recently, especially
This one,
since we met, yes, that's me in
this
high
one,
school. This is me.
is it the right one, right side? Is it you or the left side?
No, correct. That's correct. That's me. The one that you pointed. That's me right there.
Uh,
That is in high school. That was me at
so it's this one.
17. Yeah, that one's me.
Uh,
That's me at 17 years old. So yeah, I've always struggled with weight since young, since I was a kid actually. I only managed to lose weight, a good amount of the weight, after leaving high school, after leaving Sekolah Menengah. That's when I learned to lose weight, but in a very bad way. So that's when I actually discovered bulimia. So it's not something that I'm proud of, but I was ignorant at the time. I didn't have the knowledge. I didn't have the, I think, support, or not to say that my parents weren't there to support me. My mom has always been there to support me, obviously. But then, there are certain things that I wasn't aware of how to manage. And then I was left on my own to find my way in wanting to achieve what I wanted to achieve, just to lose weight. And so at the time, bulimia seemed like a very easy way out. And yes,
mm,
it worked for a while, but then my weight has always fluctuated and I was miserable. And I never, for many, many years, I never addressed that issue. And today is the first time actually coming out, to tell this.
tell us more about your body goal on the right side.
Yes, that is my body goal. I want to look like that. Yes.
So when we met, who is this? And then why is this your body goal?
What is her name? I forgot.
I also forgot.
I know. Oh shoot, what's her name? Allah. Allah.
You just remember her body.
Timberlake's wife.
Justin Timberlake's wife.
Apa?
Jennifer.
Jennifer. Apa nama dia?
Ghana.
No,
Ghana?
that's
Not
also
Ghana.
hot. Apa? Maybe audience at home can help us. Apa? Jennifer. Apa? Wait. Let me Google.
So the
Apa?
very first time when
Sorry.
Jennifer?
No. Go on. You were saying?
The very first time when we met again after 5 years, right? Where Hazlin wanted to get into Jennifer Lawrence, is it? No.
No. Not even Jennifer. It's Jessica Biel, guys.
Oh, Jessica Biel. So I asked Hazlin, so what is your dream body? Because she was talking about dream body. I want to be fit, I want to be toned, I don't want to be over skinny. And I just asked her a question. So what kind of body goal? Have you got a photo for me to have a look? And we could probably sculpt that for you. And she sent me this. Yes, she's like, oh, I like this body type, not too skinny, very toned and very fit. Amazing. But everyone, stay back. We're gonna share with you, right, Hazlin's transformation photos later. Yes. Okay. All right. So this is our first meet after 5 years, right? The amazing thing is Hazlin has always been keeping my mobile. I had a healthy breakfast smoothie at smoothie place, right? Close to I think about 9 years ago or 10 years ago, we started off the healthy smoothie place. Yeah. And then what happened was Hazlin came in and paid us a visit. And that was how we met. And after that, she disappeared. But we stay in touch and in contact. She was always on my broadcast list. That's where I post like healthy tips and nutrition topics. And then out of blue moon, right? 5 years down the road, and she said, hey, I want to get started. She thought, how, like that, right? So tell me, how was it like last time? Like, what got you to contact me after 5 years?
Okay. So I was like what Mayli mentioned, I've always kept her contacts since we first met 5 years ago. At the time, it just felt like to commit into health was or healthy eating habit was, it feels like something that's very trivial, something that it's not that important. Why is it important? There's so much that I can read up on and things like that. But then I went through a lot on a personal level. I went through a lot. My indulgence in my bad habit in bulimia was worse. It got worse, and it was slowly taking a toll on me. And I was also going through depression, and it affected my relationships, my outlook in life in general. And I think especially during the pandemic, I mean, I'm sure a lot of us like me went through, this moment of epiphany where you suddenly have all this time and you then have nothing to do but think. And that was when I started to reflect and started to think about the choices that I've made in life. And I realized that I've been neglecting my health. And it was also taking a toll on me physically because I was getting these horrible migraines that I couldn't wake up, and I was nauseating. I was feeling nauseous. And again, this was during the time when I was also seeking help from therapists and psychologists and whatnot because of my depression. And then I thought to myself, I remembered Mayli, and I was seeing her broadcast messages, and then I saw this lean and tone project that she was circulating. For me, it wasn't so much the weight loss that I was interested in. It was more on how do I manage and take charge of my eating habit? Because that was the main problem with me, because I binge eat, and it's either I eat a lot and I binge, and then I feel guilty and I throw it out, um, or I starve myself. And when I do exercise, exercising was a form of punishment for my body. It was like, I hate how I look, I hate how I feel, and so I exercise vigorously to punish myself. But then when I met Mayli, it was then that I realized that, oh, I can actually, through knowledge, through understanding what are the nutrients that I'm putting into my body and how it affects me, and the benefits that I can get from every single element that I put into my plate, and the kind of workouts that I could do to get an effective result. This kind of just like blew my mind. And now until today, I'm still working on the same routine, and I think I've achieved tremendous result. Not on just losing weight. That's not my point. I mean, of course, that's partly it, but it's mainly the fact that I'm happier now. Um, I think I have better control over my eating habit and my workout routine as well. So yeah, is that too much? But yeah, that's how I feel.
That's
Mm.
totally amazing. Yeah. And I'm really, really proud of you. And looking at this journey that you've gone through, it's actually a marathon, it's not a sprint. And many people misunderstand that I just want to lose this couple of kilos and I go through crash dieting, or I don't eat, or I have rabbit food or salad every day, or I just breathe thin air and I'll lose weight, but still it will rebound and we feel really unhappy. And it's interesting because I've actually met a few people, they make themselves work out because they feel that they have to stay in shape. So workout is like a routine rather than an enjoyment. And I'm really, really happy when you say that, wow, I am starting to enjoy the process, right? Eating right. And at the same time, working out is part of the enjoyment for me to stay in shape rather than my absolute routine that I need to force myself into getting in shape. Yeah. So that's really amazing. Yeah. Let's see what's next. So these are all the change of meals and habits. The thing is, I haven't got an example of you, right? Of the meals that are not so ideal. I've got great meals over here that is super, super awesome. And these are amazing meals. And tell us more about how you actually, what were you eating before? And then how do you transition to be like this? And after that, now you are taking more plant-based diet, right?
Yes, yes. So during the pandemic, I mean, I think a lot of us also was like binge eating because there's nothing to do at home, right? So I did put on a lot of weight from just eating. And I was I thought I was making the right choices by eating less carbs, for example, or and eating less uh, fat fatty food, for example. But then through my association with Mayli and how she guided me through the meals that I've decided on, I started to realize that there are good carbs, and yes, there are bad carbs, and then there are there are times when you eat carbs and there are times when you don't eat carbs, and then so I think for me it was also a gradual process into plant-based, because I was also going through another phase of realization about the cruelty in the animal industry, as well as in the dairy industry. And I think that was kind of like the first awakening for me. And just through out of compassion, I my my liking towards animal based food was starting to deteriorate. And so whilst I was going through this the change of eating habits, I started to learn more. What are the plant-based option meals that I could consider? Of course, it didn't happen overnight. I'm not full vegan at the time. I started out as a pescatarian. As you can see, I was still having salmon, and at the time I was still having like that's the tofu soup, I think. And so I also had some pedas fish, but cooked in a more healthy way. So yeah, it was a gradual process.
So eating
But
healthy can definitely still be flavorful. I saw that you have actually tried your level best to make healthy meals as flavorful as possible. It doesn't need to be bland, and it doesn't need to be like just all veggies and there's nothing. And your meals are all really colorful, which makes it very, very appetizing and more enjoyable when you're in this healthy, active lifestyle journey, right?
yeah, and that's part of the research. So it was after learning that, okay, there are certain types of maybe tofu that I could eat, and certain types of plant-based mock meat that are healthily produced. And I think for now as a vegan, my favorite is tempeh lah. I really love tempeh, and simple things like knowing how bad salt is in your body is something that
Mm.
I didn't know. So these are kind of like, and then realizing that for a food to be good, it doesn't need to be salty. You know what I'm saying? So
Correct.
less salt, less sugar, and yeah.
All natural food have got its natural flavors. So we do
Yeah.
not need to overload them with too much sauces, too much gravy stuff, and cloud them all with all man-made food colorings. Natural food, it's very wholesome and it's
Mm.
very, very tasty as well. All right. And also tell us more about how to experience this in our 10 days lean and tone program.
It was good because like I suddenly find that there are other women like me also, that are not so much struggling with weight, but struggling with knowing what are the right choices, because we spend as mothers, we spend half of our life serving others. We wake up in the morning, we have to think about, from A to Z, about our husbands, our children, our mothers, or our brothers, or people around us, where we're always considering others first, and we always put ourselves second. And that's the community that I was introduced in. And I see a lot of women that are learning to discover self-love and self-care. So that's nice to realize that, hey, I'm not so alone after all, and that this, whatever it is that I'm going through, or I had gone through, is a part and parcel of being a woman. That's what makes us strong, I suppose. So yeah, it's been
Yes,
great.
we call it octopus mom. Octopus, you've
Yeah,
got like so many hands, right? Yeah.
yeah,
And also,
yeah.
next is tell us more about this. Wow, this is Gaia, then. Gaia.
Yeah. So like I love Muay Thai. It's like I have not been on a spa before. I've never sparred with anyone, but I actually learned Muay Thai in my early 20s. And then when life happened, blah blah blah, work, motherhood, and then I'm just like, yeah, I totally abandoned Muay Thai. Then when I came back from overseas, because I was living overseas for a while, and I came back, and then I was like, yeah, I got to get back into Muay Thai. And then you haven't done Muay Thai for a while, of course you remember the moves and whatnot, but then you are not as, and you're not young anymore, so like your kicks are slower, your punch are slower, so then I suppose by the time I met you, I was like, by the time I met Mayli, I was just like, oh, this is a good opportunity for me to get leaner. so that I could kick and punch, better. And I hope to spar at least before I turn 40. I hope so, but now the pandemic, right? So like my Muay Thai, because of the MCO, right? So my Muay Thai workout has been put on hold for a while, I do work out, I do my own kicking and punching at home, but it's nothing like being under the PT's workout
And
session now,
punching the PT, it feels good, right? It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
punch the PT. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
good. Yeah.
and then also, right? Let's see, what have we got next? Um, so how do you feel when you transform, right? This is your total transformation. How do you feel?
this was this picture with me in this green top was taken after I gave birth to my second child, my daughter. This was in 2014.
Hmm.
So yeah, I was still kind of like trying to lose my pregnancy fat lah. But the thing is, every time I get pregnant, I will put on a lot of weight. Like for example, when I was pregnant with my first, I was about 85 kg. My son, I was 85 kg. And when I was pregnant with my daughter, I was like, woof, I was 88 kg, close to 90. I was really, really, yeah, chops. But I was always aware of how bad sugar is. So I managed to cut off the weight quite fast. But again, like I mentioned, it was fluctuating. I was never so lean also lah, because I never understood the differences between cardio and weight training and the kind of effects it has. So how I didn't know that building mass would actually help you to burn more fats. These are something that I've only come to learn recently. So yeah.
Hazlin, you mentioned when you were young, you were always chubby,
Yeah.
and you always felt really uh you do not have the self-confidence, and also you're always like feeling like you are always big, right? And you would never have imagined that you would be able to get into this size and this shape. How is the moment when you saw that photo of yourself, right? Comparing when you were 17 years old, like how do you feel? Are you able to describe the kind of feeling?
Mm. It hasn't been a smooth journey, obviously, but I think I needed to go through all that. Um, I think I'm still discovering. I'll be turning 40 this year in August, and I'm still learning and discovering myself on a daily basis, actually. Um, and I think I think what I value most is not so much what I look on the outside, but what it has built in me in the inside. I think I can't put words to it, but I think it's more like I've come to a point where I'm quite, like that lah. I think that's what I'm most proud of, the fact
How
that
did it change you? How do you change you as a person, spiritually, mentally, and also physically? Like, especially when you say it's a lot about inside, spiritually and mentally. How did it change you as a person?
I think I learned to be more compassionate with myself. That's the most important thing, because I used to kind of put my goals on a certain unrealistic level, thinking that's where, if I want to achieve something, that's where I need to go, that's where I need to be. But then I realized that, and then I hurt myself in the process. I always hurt myself in the process, and I hurt people around me as well. And I think for me, it's that the fact that now I am more compassionate with myself for whatever mistakes that I've made. Like there are days when I'm not my best version. There are days that I maybe say the wrong things to people, to maybe my children, to my students. Sometimes, I make mistakes. But then I've learned to forgive myself. That's, I think, the most difficult thing to do, to like learn to kind of give yourself a pat on the back. Like, it's okay, it's fine, you're
I
okay,
think
you're okay.
many women out there would relate to what you just mentioned, right? We want to be the best versions of ourselves, and then also peer pressure, societal pressures, and also what people around us feel that the duties of a mom, the duties of a woman is as such, right? We are actually positioned by the society that we need to do these things, right? Being women. And you're right, forgiving ourselves and then also be compassionate ourselves and doing the best that we can and just being happy is the most important thing. And like, I'd like to also know, how did you find the courage to let go and also start practicing self-love? When was the time that you felt that, oh, all these have to stop? You really have to take a step back to repair yourself and also put attention to yourself more.
I think I think my children are my biggest my anchor, my children. So yeah, I think I found my strength through them. So because I realized that if I'm going to continue hurting myself, I will never be a good mom to them, So if I don't change now, then I'm never gonna be good for them, and they will never see the best version of me, and they would think that this is what adulthood means. This is what being a mom means. I don't want to be a mom, kind of thing. But the thing is I've also learned that we all have our very individual journeys. We have our own individual journeys, and we don't have to be like everyone else. I think for a good number of years, in my journey towards womanhood and motherhood, I was always trying to find a template or like a person to be like, oh, I want to be like her. Oh, to be good, I have to be like her. Oh, that's the kind of mother I want to be. Then I lose myself. I lose myself along the process. Then now it's like, okay, never mind. I'm just gonna be me, and I'm not perfect. I make all these silly mistakes. I'm just a little girl trapped in like a woman's body, and that's what I think my children love about me. So yeah, it's okay, So I
your
suppose
children will appreciate and love you for who you are. Yeah. And they can feel the love from you, and most of the time you're the best version to them. Yeah. And and the funny bubbly one as well.
Yeah.
So your greatest motivation and drive and your anchor is your children. I believe this is for every parent as well, right? When we start to have children, and that is at least that keeps us going, and then that keeps us living as well. And there's this little one that is always looking out for you, and that is the inspiration for you to be a better version of yourself, right?
Yeah.
So thing is that, let's see, what have we got? We've got so much stories about you, and this is another amazing data, a little bit blurred because I sort of blow it up, but like everyone to see, right? This is a marathon and not a sprint, just like I was sharing, right? So Hazlin is really kind. I was asking her whether I could share this data. Oh, this is quite personal. However, look at this. It's a marathon, not a sprint. She started in December, right? 2019. Let's look at, let's not look at weight, because weight doesn't mean anything, because it's a combination of muscle mass, water, and also body fat. But look at the amount of body fat that's gone down. I told her, right, 23.6 is like generally a fit woman in their 20s. And just now you were saying, how young are you?
Oh, okay. Do I
How young
announce
are
that
you?
here? I am 39 turning 40 this year. I'm 40 this
39,
year.
30,
40.
40, and this data, right? This data is like young girls data, okay? Generally, just for moms to know, most of the time because of breastfeeding, because post pregnancy, generally moms would range above 30s. Yeah, body fat percentage would be 30 to 40. Yeah, unless you like exercise like crazy and eat clean like crazy, but generally women will hit that number. So it is a lot healthier if we work towards like below 27. Now 23.6. Hey, this is like early 20s body. Eh? Yeah, and the muscle
Sorry.
mass is not easy to gain, yay? Yeah, so I believe you've lost a lot of inches. So your dress size was what before this, and then now what is it? What's your dress size now?
So I used to range between an L to an M, but now I'm an S.
A smaller S.
I'm
An
an S.
S size. You're wearing an S
Yeah.
size. Yay! And yes, tell us more now. Your anchors. Tell us
That's
about them.
Yeah, that's my son right there, the one with me in pink t-shirt. That's him. Like this is a few days after, about a week maybe after I've given birth to him, and that's him when he's slightly older. That's, as you can see, like I still have that weight. And no, I think this is when I was pregnant with the second one. Yes, this is me pregnant with the second one. So you see how much I put on at the time, kan? So
Yes.
yeah, these are these are the two of them now. And
Oh,
my son is
and look
turning
at
12.
you, right? Like, how young were you back here?
Ah, oh no, shoot, how old was I? I think with Muzo I was 28. I think in the pink t-shirt I was 28 years old.
Hmm.
Yeah, 28, 29 lah, maybe.
Ah,
Yeah, 29.
this one?
Then this one is about 29, 30, 31, 32. I'm 33. This is me at 33.
And then this
32,
one?
33 like that lah. Oh, this was last year.
Ayyo!
This was,
So hot.
this,
Looking stunning. Stunning, stunning.
this was his birthday lah that time. This was his birthday. Munzo's birthday.
Yeah.
He was 11. Yeah.
So I want to find out
Yeah.
from you. I know you have so, like, after you've shaped up, you have regained all this focus on yourself mentally, physically. You've got this project that's coming up, right? Something exciting. Would you like to share?
Oh.
Like, what's your dream, or what are you working on at this point in time?
Okay. Okay, well, I'm working on a very big project. It has to do with education. I don't think I should disclose it yet until
Mm.
until it's out there. But that's a passion project of mine. I'm working with a group of like-minded artists as well. It has to do with training and education and training and bringing authenticity out of my students, to be able to discover their voice, to be able to discover their craft and hone their artistic skills. So it's a thing that I'm working on right now. At the same time, there are some other film projects and writing projects that I am working on at my pace, because I'm one person that cannot work under people's pressure. So I'm like, I will work on my timeline kind of thing. So So it's like that lah. But it's working slowly. Yeah,
So if
I will keep you updated. Yeah.
anyone that would like to kickstart learning on how to act and then also pursue this as a career, they can contact you.
Yes, please. For anyone out there who wants to learn acting for screen or stage, um, I can safely say I am one of the best in the
Oh,
industry. So yeah,
I
I
think
think
so
so
too.
lah.
That's why I invited you up here. Yeah.
I think so too lah. There are
Okay,
not many of us,
wow.
so
And a
yeah.
stunning
Then
one,
I
huh?
can safely
Stunning
say that
one.
lah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yes. Haslin, I'd like to find out from you, right? What advice would you give to anyone, doesn't matter, man or woman, that has fallen to their lowest point? What should they do? How do they turn around?
hmm. I think I think if you are at any point in your life right now at your low, don't be afraid to share your pain to someone, just sharing alone. Sometimes it doesn't have to be someone you know or someone that you can call your best friend. Sometimes it's that total stranger that you meet, in the Grab, for example, the Grab driver, sometimes just talking about how you feel or what you're going through is already the first step to healing, because you are acknowledging that you're going through something that needs to be addressed. And once you've acknowledged your pain or whatever that is you're struggling with, the next thing is to actually seek help, because it's not easy to reach out for help. I understand that, but to just talk about it sometimes would help also. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much for taking the courage to share with us and also sharing with us your journey throughout this process of how you actually try and also attempt to recover, and also how you empower yourself. Self empowerment is very important, even though we can seek empowerment from others, but at the end of the day is a personal decision whether we're ready to really heal ourselves and put our foot down and finding a reason and a purpose to change, right? So one more thing, what would you like to say, right? What is your finishing line? And this was written by Hazlin herself. I didn't proofread. Let's share with everybody. What is your ending speech that you want to close this, and so that everybody can take home and be reminded?
So I think a lot of times society teach us to live our life towards a certain goal, and then sometimes we feel like that certain goal is that finishing line, and that's done now, done. But the thing is, there's no such thing when it comes to self-care. There's no finishing line. It is an ongoing thing. Like even till today, even though I have supposedly achieved, a mark, a number that you can find on the weighing scale, but it doesn't end there. I still have to continuously keep myself in check. I have to continuously commit to accepting myself for both my dark side and my bright side, and that's self-care. That's really, caring for myself and keeping continuously caring for myself without thinking that okay lah, after this done lah, no, it doesn't end there. So yeah, and it doesn't have to be expensive. I repeat, it doesn't have to be expensive. It's about managing your time and also knowing what is your priority and knowing that you yourself is a priority. Does that help? So,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, that's a great tip for everybody. Most of the time, especially women, we always put ourselves last on the checklist, or we are never in the checklist. And when I speak to everyone, right, especially moms, they will always not, yeah, yeah, yeah. I've never been on the schedule, because my schedule is my children, my work, my husband, my in-laws, my parents. and there is no space, right, for ourselves. And the most important thing is be reminded that we have to be in the schedule so that things around us work. And once we empower ourselves and also practice self love, things around us will get better. And also we get happier, and we ignite, and also we send all this positive energy around the people, to people around us, and also our family, especially our children as well. Yay. Thank you
Yeah, I
so
agree.
much for being here, right? And also sharing your journey, your transformation journey, and also really opening up your heart to share the deepest, darkest secret as well. And thank you. We really appreciate you being here, Hazlin. Thank you
Thank you.
for saying yes to this interview as well. I hope everybody will be able um, to be inspired by this session, right? And feel free to share this story to people around you that needs help, especially during this pandemic time. What we want to do is really spread love and spread the positivity, and everybody, we are doing this together. Yay! Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Hazli.
Mayli. Thank you, Mayli and
We've
Jason,
got
for organizing this for me also. Thank you so much.
sorry. We will see you. See you all
Bye.
soon. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Is that over?
Yes. Wait, wait, wait.
Okay. Yep.